Are you thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas, or the surrounding areas, and you do not want a new construction home? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're taking you through Plano. We're going to visit 4 neighborhoods at 4 different price points, because really, there's no new construction in Plano. This suburb has been built out really since the late 90s, early 2000s. So this way you can get an idea of what you can get in a pre-existing home that's close to Dallas, and they have some of the top rated schools here in the area, according to niche.com. All right, let's go ahead and head over to our first location. Okay, so we are starting our tour here in the Park Forest neighborhood. Now, if you'll remember, we actually talked about Park Forest when we did our Plano vlog. And this is an area that is really affordable, but you're gonna make some compromises, and I'm about to show you what we're talking about. You can find homes that are gonna be listed anywhere from probably mid $200,000, $250,000, up to around $400,000, $425,000. Now, these are going to be some of the older homes. Now, these homes are gonna have been built in the 1970s. I would say early to late 1970s, okay? So let's go in, and I want to show you what you could get, and then we'll talk about the price at the end. So as you can see, we've got some massive trees here in this front area, and that's how you know, obviously, we've got a more established neighborhood. I mean, these are awesome. I absolutely love that. Okay, so we're walking in, and one of the things that we'll notice in this area, in this price point, these homes are typically going to be a lot smaller. Now, this would be more for your first-time home buyer. You've got a really tight budget, a strict budget. So the other thing is, you definitely want to stick around, because I'm going to show you a home a little bit later on that was built in the 70s, but that they have gone in and totally redone it. You do not want to miss that. But one of the things is, when we come in, we notice that you've got a little bit lower ceilings. So I know some people don't like that, and they have kept, while they've done some updating, they've kept some of the character and the charm of these older homes. Now, this would be your dining area, okay? Because homes typically during this time were not built with that open concept feeling. And then we come into the kitchen, and the kitchen is going to be quite a bit smaller. So notice that you just don't have as much of the open space on the homes that are going to be over in this area. You've got your laundry room that's right off of the kitchen, and here's where you enter your garage, but then you really just basically have a closet for a pantry. I mean, they didn't have a lot of pantry space for these homes, and this particular home is really only about 1,500 square feet. All right, now let's go into our living area. So you do come into the living area. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love are the beams on the ceiling. That is something that was very popular back in the 70s, and they also had the paneling on the walls. Now, they have painted that white, which I like a lot better than the wood paneling. And then you've got your fireplace, but this was the part that I loved about my home in Richardson. You see, you've got the mantle where you can actually sit down. I love that. Or not the, but you know, the hearth that you could actually sit down on. And I absolutely love that. Now, this leads out to the outdoors. So your back patio. Once again, I mean, it's not a huge yard because you are going to enter into the garage from the back. But look how big these trees are. Okay. The other thing, and we'll talk about this too in a little bit later, but something that was very indicative of the 70s was all the bedrooms were located along one hall. So we've got the hall that's going to take you down into the bedrooms. So as we come down, you've got your primary bedroom. And this one is going to be a little bit smaller. Remember, this one's only 1,500 square feet. You do have the walk-in closet. And then this is really a 1970s bathroom with the arch right here. So they've updated a few things. They have not done a full renovation. But I tell you what, I think you'll be surprised when we talk about the price point at the end. Now we come in, you've got your two other secondary bedrooms. Now, these bedrooms are really a nice size. So both bedrooms are really a decent, nice size. And then you've got your secondary bathroom. And like I said, it's got some updates, but it's not been fully updated. So when we're talking about some of these older homes, you're gonna have homes that are either going to be fully renovated. And guess what? We're gonna go look at one in a little bit. You're gonna have ones that are fully renovated, or you're gonna have some that are just like this. They've done a few updates, but they haven't gone in and totally renovated it. But the price point is gonna reflect that. So this house is 1,544 square feet, and it is currently listed at $345,000. Now, if you're looking for a brand new home at that price point, you're gonna end up way out, way out. It's probably gonna be about the same size of home, and I get it. It'll be a brand new home. However, this keeps you closer into the Dallas area, closer to all the activities and all of the things that are here in the Plano area. You know, this one does have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So when you look at some of these neighborhoods in Plano, you've got to decide, do you want a home that has been fully renovated and you're gonna pay a little bit more? Or are you okay with taking one that's been somewhat updated, somewhat renovated, and then making it your own and putting your own stamp on it? All right, we're gonna head over to our next house, and we're gonna start looking at homes that the next couple of homes are gonna be in that, what I call that mid price point. So you can get an idea of what Plano offers in the mid price point. And then we're gonna end up out in West Plano. In West Plano, if you took a look at our Plano vlog, you'll know that is where the higher price points typically are. So let's go ahead and we're gonna head on over there. Okay, so we're now in the really kind of the south central part of Plano, and this is gonna be the first of our mid-priced homes. Now, this home was built in the early 80s, and you're gonna see some details that I honestly think that this was probably at one point a custom home, and it's got some really cool things. But here's what I absolutely love about this. Check this out. And this is one of the neat things about Plano. You guys have got to see this. Check it out. We have cows. Check it out. We've got cows right here, right next to the property. Seriously, only in Texas will you see your house right next to the pasture with a bunch of cows. Absolutely love that. And that is one of the really cool things about Plano, because you do still have some pockets like this that have, you know, the pastures, the cows. Not very many of them, but you do right here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take a look inside of this home. So you can see this is a much more traditional home. And when we walk in, you're gonna come in to your foyer area. Now, we're gonna also take a look at a home right after this, so you definitely wanna make sure that you stick around. That was actually built before this. So it was built in the late 70s, but they went through and they totally updated everything, all right? Here they kept a lot of the really cool details about some of these homes, but it definitely looks like it's in the 80s. So when you come in, you have your formal dining area off to one side. Now, it is a huge space. It is a nice sized dining room. So if you were having the holiday dinners and you needed a large space, this absolutely accommodates it. And then on the other side would be really your formal living area. Now they have the wood paneling, and guys, this, I know it's hard to see, this is the good wood paneling. So they have preserved the natural woodwork here in this home. Now let's go ahead and come on in a little further. You can see you've got the built-in bookshelves, the raised ceiling with the really nice detail on the woodwork, and your fireplace. Now we're gonna see this again a little bit later, but this is the fireplace, very indicative of this era, that would actually go through to both rooms. And then we're gonna come into, this would be more, in my opinion, more of your casual living area. But once again, they have continued with the nice woodwork, the details. You just don't see that in any of the new construction. And your fireplace that comes all the way through. And another thing that was really popular in the 70s and 80s was the wet bar, one of my favorites. So they've got a really nice wet bar here. Once again, the detail, the wood. I mean, I love that. And then you can get into your kitchen area either through the living room that we were just in, or you can come in through the other area. But check this out. So you could come in through your dining room. So here's your formal dining room, and you can come into your kitchen either way. All right, so right off of the hallway into the kitchen, you've got your laundry room. And this is a really big laundry room with the wet sink, plenty of space for a stand-up freezer. And then you're coming into your kitchen. Now, once again, you can tell just the quality because these are the solid wood cabinets. I mean, this is solid wood. You've got your granite countertops with your electric range. I mean, check it out. They were already putting the drawers underneath, even in the 80s. I mean, we think it's something new that they just started doing, but actually in your custom homes, in your higher end homes, you think about this, they already put those in. You've got your built-in oven, built-in microwave. Now, I will say, I've never liked these lights. It's got the tube lighting, but I just never liked it. Either open that up or just make that a solid ceiling. You know, what do you think? I mean, does anybody like that? I know I don't. All right, but you've got your nice eat-in kitchen area, and check out once again all the woodwork, the details. You've got your buffet with plenty of storage for all of your dishes, and even a little desk. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen this one forever. Check it out. This is your whole home stereo system. So you can turn on the speakers. You can put it on the radio. You can actually turn the volume up. Oh, they have even AM and FM. Okay. Now, let's check out the pantry because I don't know, that last one kind of disappointed me. So let's see, it's pantry time. All right, this is a nice sized pantry actually, because look how deep these shelves go back in. So that's a nice sized pantry, and you still have a lot of storage underneath. And then as we come down the hallway, I do love this, the built-in linen so all of the storage area that you've got right here. So these are going to be your secondary bedrooms. And you know, that is the nice thing about some of these older homes. These bedrooms are so much larger than what we see in today's construction. And then we've got our Jack and Jill bathroom. So you've got your single vanity with the dual sink and your shower tub combination. That will lead into your other secondary bedroom. And then as we come down here, we've got our primary. Now this is a really big primary bedroom with your tray ceiling and into your primary bathroom. Now this is huge because you've got your vanity on each side. So you've got his and her side. And once again, these cabinets, I mean, this is solid wood. This is nice solid wood. You've got your granite countertop. You even have your little makeup area, your get ready area, the large walk-in shower, your freestanding tub. Now I will say, the mirrors on the closet door, that have to go. I don't want to look at myself walking into the closet. But you've got a nice sized closet with the built-ins. Oh, check it out. Oh, you've got a built-in laundry hamper. And then built-in cubbies, shelves on this side. And then as we are coming off of the kitchen area, you have another bedroom. So this would be great for your guests because it's off and away from the other bedrooms. You know, the houses that were built in the 70s and 80s usually put all of the bedrooms on one side. But obviously this one was intended as a guest bedroom because it's separate and it's off a little bit, all right? And they have their own bathroom right here. Oh, wallpaper. So what do you guys, do you like the wallpaper? Do you like wallpaper? I personally don't like wallpaper. I always take it down whenever I don't like wallpaper. Okay, let's check out the backyard. So you have a really nice size covered patio. I mean, this is really a big patio. I'll try to get over in the corner. And then you still have a really decent size yard. And once again, a lot of these homes they're actually going to have the garage that you enter from the rear. So that is going to eat up a little bit of the backyard. Your front yards are usually big. You know, it's funny, I had some clients, they were looking here in the Plano area. And number one, they liked the older, more traditional homes like this. But number two, the schools were really important for them because they had children that were in the elementary schools. And everybody knows that Plano has amazing schools. I mean, they're A-rated schools according to niche.com. And that is why a lot of people actually like living in Plano. Aside from the fact that you are close to Dallas, you've got amazing schools, great nightlife, just tons of fabulous restaurants and shopping that is all very convenient to this area. And you know, that's another reason why you definitely want to reach out to us, because we know where these pockets are. But I had these clients and that was on their checklist. And we found, I'm telling you, a home very similar to this. It was built in the 80s. It had the amazing woodwork. It had the wood, and that was what they were looking for. And so we knew what neighborhoods to go into and what homes to look at. They absolutely love it there. And they're actually on a cul-de-sac, which Plano does have a lot of cul-de-sacs. But this home, this one's 2715 square feet. It was built in 1983. And it is what I would consider a midpoint, a typical mid-price point for the Plano area. This particular home is $550,000. You know, it's got 4 bedrooms, it's got 3 full baths, and I love the fireplace that you can sit on either side when you have the fireplace that's on both sides. Anyway, so we're gonna go and look at another, what I consider mid-priced home. But this one is going to be a little bit older. So it was actually built in the late 70s, but they've gone through and totally renovated it and updated and put all the modern touches that a lot of people like. So let's go ahead and we're gonna head over there, and that way you can tell me, what do you think about that one? All right, let's head out. Okay, so we're still in the central part of Plano, and I have to tell you, this home is a perfect example of taking a 1977 home, 1977 home, and updating it. It is so pretty inside, and you know, this is really what a lot of people are doing in the Plano area. So let's go ahead and take a look inside so you guys can see. Now, the first thing we see is that they have updated the door to really one of the modern. But I have to tell you, I was so surprised, first of all, about how large this house is. So this is a single-story home. And, you know, we've talked about sometimes the older homes will give you bigger rooms, bigger bedrooms. And this is going to be a really good example of that. And the upgrades and the updates that they've done with this house just makes it has a modern feel to it. So when we come in, check out this entryway. I absolutely love that. That is such a cool kind of Art Deco feel to it. But you come in and you could use this as a formal dining room. And it's nice and spacious, nice and large, and it's got the really nice bay windows, so they have upgraded and updated the windows. Now, they've gone with the wood look tile, and in the majority of this entertaining area. Now, we come in a little bit further, and this is gonna be the first of one of your living areas. So you've got this living room and living area with your fireplace. And check it out. This is something that was really popular back then, is the fireplace will actually go through to the other side. But look how large this area is. And then we come into the kitchen area. As you can see, they have updated with the quartz countertop. Now, they do have the electric range. You've got the laundry room right off of the kitchen. I mean, they've updated all of the doors. You've got a lot of storage in this area. All right. They have done the stainless steel vent that drops down from the ceiling. All right, now let's take a look and see what the pantry looks like. I was a little disappointed, to be real honest with you guys. All right, here we go, pantry time. Here's your pantry. So that kind of, I don't know, what do you guys think? That kind of reminds me of like a pantry in one of my first apartments. So the pantry's not that big, and that's okay because you've got a lot of, you've got a lot of cabinets, you've got a lot of storage space. Check this out. So you've got the cabinets, they go all the way up to the top. They did put the glass front cabinet doors on these. You've got your built-in microwave and your built-in oven. And then you've got some additional drawer and storage space right under there. I mean, this really, if you take a look at it, this is a really big kitchen, and it opens up into the living area. But this was really kind of a surprise for me. So we've got our casual dining area, and they've put in the wood beams that they painted white. So you've got your casual dining right off of the kitchen. And for your guests, you have a full-size bathroom right off the kitchen with the nice tall vanity, the quartz countertop, and then the large walk-in shower. But check this out. I love this room. So here's your adult entertaining space right here. You've got your wine fridge, all of the cabinets, storage for your wine bottles, wine glasses. So this truly is the entertaining space. And that was something in the 70s that they did. A lot of times they had a wet bar, or they had their adult beverage area, if you will. So that was not uncommon, but I really think that they were very smart in the way they did this because they kept it open to all of the entertaining area. And here is your fireplace that goes all the way through. But check out this second living area. Nice and big. And you just keep the character because you do have the skylights. You can see all the way up. So that lets in a lot of light into this space. They've got one there. Then they have another skylight right here. You can see it's a little cloudy here right now. And then you have your backyard area. Now they did replace this with the sliding doors, which I like, so they upgraded that as well. Now, because this is a larger home, I mean, this home is over 3,200 square feet. Your backyard's not going to be quite as big. Plus the fact you've got the rear entry for the garage. And whenever you have the rear entry on the garage, it does take up some of that backyard space. But check out the backyard. I mean, you still have enough room for the pups to run around. The nice fence. All right, let's keep going. So this is another thing that was pretty common in the 70s. So all of the bedrooms really are going to be on this wing. So you've got your secondary bedrooms that are going to be close to your primary. So here's your primary. Now they have done the hand scraped engineered wood floors all through this area. You've got your primary bedroom, once again, really, really big. I mean, this primary bedroom is 20 by 15. You just don't see that large bedroom like this in your newer construction. Unless you're getting up really high in that price point, you don't see a large primary bedroom like this. All right, then we come into our primary bathroom. And once again, they have done a full remodel on that. So you've got your beautiful tile floor, your single vanity though with dual sinks, lots of cabinets and drawer space, your nice freestanding tub, and then your large walk-in shower with 2 shower heads. Now we also have our walk-in closet. Now that unfortunately is not quite as big. So here's your walk-in closet. That is one thing that I did notice for houses that were built in this, I guess they didn't have as much clothes as we did. Because even my house that I had in Richardson, it was built in the late 70s. And the primary closet was about that size. So I guess they didn't account for us being clothes fiends. All right, let's look at the secondary bedrooms. So as I said, it's not uncommon in the homes that were built at this time for all of the bedrooms to be located on one side. But here's the first of your secondary bedrooms. Once again, these are larger bedrooms than you would typically get. You do have your second bathroom, and they've done the 2 separate vanities with the shower and tub combination. Now, if it were me, I think what I would have done is I would have put a cabinet right here from floor to ceiling, so that way you would have your linen closet, because they don't have a linen closet in here. But it does open up to your other secondary bedroom. Once again, the nice windows. And this one actually comes with 2 closets. Now, it's not a walk-in closet, but it is a nice size closet. And then your final bedroom here. And once again, large bedroom. You've got the plantation shutters, the nice bay window, and then you do have a walk-in closet in this one. Like I said, this is something that you'll see a lot in Plano. Because Plano doesn't have new construction. I mean, unless you're looking for a condo or a townhome, then you can find some new construction in that. But most of the homes in the Plano area are going to range anywhere being built in the 70s through the early 2000s. But this is a really good example of what people will do. They'll come in, they'll buy the older home, but then they'll totally update it and renovate it to where you've got all the modern conveniences. Okay, so this particular home is 3287 square feet. And like I said, we're in the central part of Plano. So this is what I would consider our midpoint area, okay? It has 4 bedrooms and it's got 3 full baths. Now it's got the two actual living rooms plus your formal dining area. Now this particular home and homes in this neighborhood are gonna range in the 600,000. This one's listed at 625. So, you know, a lot of times you can get homes that are, you know, lower priced, but you're gonna need to go in and do all of the remodel just like they've already done in this one. Or you can buy one just like this one that's already been remodeled. And I love the fact that they kept some of the character from the 70s, but they just updated it. All right, now we're going to be heading over to West Plano. And West Plano is where we're gonna have our higher price points, but I want you to see what you can get in West Plano. Now remember, this is going to be close to the Legacy Shopping District. You're also very close to the North Dallas Toll Road, so it's easy access to get into the Dallas area. So let's go ahead and we're gonna head over to West Plano to take a look at our final home. We are now over in the west part of Plano, and if you'll remember in our vlog, we talked about the west part of Plano really is where your higher price points are going to be. Now, if you haven't checked out our Plano vlog, you definitely don't want to miss that. You can check it out right here. Now, we are in a we're at a two-story home, and you've got to look at this because this is so beautiful. I'm going to turn this around. So it's got the creek. You have beautiful tree-lined streets, and that is one of the things that really I just love about the Plano area, because it is a more established area and you've got big trees, you've got trees that are lining the streets. It's simply beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and head on in. Now, when we first come in, you'll notice that you've got the beautiful sweeping staircase all the way up to the second floor. Now, this particular home was built in 1994, and the homes in Plano, in the western part of Plano, really were built between the 1990s, maybe you'll find some in the early 2000s. So these are definitely going to be your more established neighborhoods, your more established homes. But I tell you what, there's just something about just that older established neighborhood that I absolutely love. You know, it reminds me of the first house that I owned over in the Richardson area. And it was an older house. It was built in the 70s, but it had so much character that you just don't see in the new construction homes these days. All right, now this is they're listing it as a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, but really, in my opinion, this would be a beautiful home office. And look at that woodwork detail. You just don't see that in the newer construction homes. It's got the nice bay windows. And you could tell that they use this as an office because you've got the French doors, but we walk into the closet and they have actually changed this door. It has all shelves versus being able to hang anything. Now, if you worked at home, this would be a great home office. But if you needed it as a 4th bedroom, you absolutely can use this as a 4th bedroom because it actually has its bathroom right here. So you've got a full-size bathroom, beautiful vanity with a large walk-in shower. Now, as we come on the other side of the entryway, a lot of the older homes would have a formal living area and a formal dining room. And that's exactly what this space is. Check out the tall ceilings though. So it's got the vaulted ceilings up top, beautiful windows, a lot of natural light. And then they've made an opening to where this is a big open space, and you've got your formal dining area. So here's our formal dining room. the nice big chandelier, more big windows, and you have the nice hardwood floors, and then your beautiful tile in the entryway. Now, as we come a little bit further into the house, we're gonna come into our living room. And this is a really nice size. So you've got, check it out, the tall chandelier. But you have your built-in cabinets to the side, nice fireplace, and believe it or not, we actually do use our fireplaces maybe a week in the winter, but it is nice to have it when you have a fireplace. All right, and that opens into the kitchen area. And then you have your casual dining right off to the side. Now, I really like the kitchen in that they've done the center island. So this is going to be a fabulous prep space, or even a serving if you're having company. They've done the quartz countertops, the nice two-tone cabinets. So you've got your natural wood on the bottom. You've got your white cabinets on the top with your 5-burner gas stove. And then you have your nice little breakfast bar area, if you will. You actually could put 2 bar stools on the other side with your undermount sink. Okay. Now it's pantry time. Let's see what they did to the pantry, because typically in the older houses, the pantries are a little bit larger. So let's take a look. Okay, it's not bad. I mean, it's really not bad. So you've got your 5 shelves with the storage up top and storage below. That's not a bad size pantry at all. And then just off of your kitchen dining area is your laundry room. And this is a really spacious laundry room in that you've got your cabinets and you have plenty of room for your washer dryer, and you could even potentially put a small freezer. Okay, but this is one of the things I really did like about this home. It is not unusual, particularly in the Plano area, for people to have a pool. So in some of these more established neighborhoods, it's not going to be a master plan community. So you're not going to have your amenity center. You're not going to have your pickleball court or your resort style pool. But most people will absolutely put a pool in their home. So that's exactly what they've done here. We've got our nice pool with the hot tub. And just look at all the trees. I mean, it gets hot here in Texas. It's actually a really nice day today. I mean, we're at the end of August and it's only like 78 degrees outside. We actually had a cold front come through last night and early this morning. I was so excited about it because it doesn't normally get this cool in August. All right, so let's continue on. So you have double doors leading through back towards your entryway. And then just down this hall is where you would have your primary bedroom. Now they've done the really tall ceilings. Look how big that window is. So pretty, so light and bright in here. And this is really a very large bedroom. I mean, this primary bedroom is 19 feet by 14 feet. That's the other thing I like about, the older homes. Typically, your bedrooms are going to be larger than your new construction homes. All right, so let's see what the primary bathroom looks like. Now you come into the primary bathroom from the double doors, and they have redone this, and this is simply gorgeous. You've got your single vanity with the dual sinks. Look how much cabinet space. They were really smart in all of the cabinet and drawer space, but check it out. They also have their linen cabinet right here. You have your nice deep soaker tub and your large walk-in shower. Now they have 2 primary closets with the built-in shelves on both sides, lots of space. And then on the other side of the primary bathroom, you have your second walk-in closet. This one's not quite as big, but you still get your built-in shelves as well. Okay, now let's go upstairs and check out what it looks like upstairs. Now, when we get upstairs, one of the things that I noticed is they don't have a game room and they don't have a media room. That wasn't really as popular back in the 90s, but the bedrooms are really a nice size, really large secondary bedrooms. So you have one this direction. And once again, the nice tall ceilings, your bay window, and then you have your nice walk-in closets. You have the Jack and Jill bathroom, so each side will have its own vanity. And then you share the tub shower area all the way through to the second vanity. And then here is your fourth and final bedroom. Once again, really big, very spacious. Okay, let's head downstairs and let's talk about, what's this price point here in the west part of Plano? Okay, so this particular home, like I said, was built in 1994, and it's 2923 square feet, 4 bedroom, 3 full baths, and it is in the west part of Plano. Now, if you remember when we talked about the west part of Plano, that's where really you're gonna look at homes anywhere from the 800,000s into the millions. And this particular home with the redone finishes, updated look, it is currently listed at $825,000. Now, if you were to look at a new construction home that was this large with the finishes that they had, you truly would be looking at probably well over $1 million. And so there is some value in looking at your pre-owned homes, because first of all, it's just, you get a lot of character. I mean, you remember the wood ceiling in that front room with the office or the 4th bedroom? You just don't get that in a new construction home. All right, well, let us know, what do you think? A lot of people are not wanting a new construction home. They are looking for a pre-owned home, but they want something that has already been updated. Does this fit the bill for you? That's why you definitely want to give us a call, shoot us a text so we can talk about what all is going to be really important to you What are those things that you care most about that's going to fit the lifestyle for you and your family? So make sure that you reach out. And with that, hopefully we will see you guys around the town.